right. Good morning, everybody. Looks like we have a pretty good crowd drawn here. Good to see everyone. Shelby, good to see you.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy
Good to be here.
Tuesday. Welcome in, everybody, to this edition of gPanel Basics. For those of you that are here live, you should have over on the right hand of whatever screen you're on, LinkedIn or promevo.com or gpanel.io, StreamYard, you'll have a comment section. We would love to hear from you. Any questions that you have, any comments that you have, we'd love to hear them. And where possible, if Shelby's showing a particular function and you have a question about it, if I can, I'll jump in and interrupt her and we'll try to answer the question in real time. Otherwise, we'll take a few minutes at the end and address all of your questions live. So those of you, I'm kind of stalling here while we have some people filing in. So for those of you that are new, this is what we're going to consider like the essential things that you need to know about gPanel. Uh, what are the most like 4 or 5 important functions that you need to understand about this particular tool? Thanks for saying hello. Good morning or good evening in Bangkok, Thailand. So this is meant to be like, hey, if you're a new user, these are the most important things that you can know. If you're an experienced user, maybe you'll see some stuff in here that like, all right, now I don't, maybe previously you didn't understand how to use a particular function. Shelby's going to walk you through it and explain all of that to you. Those of you that have registered, you will get a recording of this sent to your email inbox as soon as you wrap or as soon as we wrap, so you can watch it. But as a reminder, like we do these every month. You're always welcome to join. We keep it fairly consistent, and where possible, we'll also cover any new features that have been rolled out. So that's kind of your primer on gPanel Basics. As a reminder, drop in any questions or comments that you have over in the sidebar. And with that, I am going to hand you over to Shelby Gaines. She's on our support team. If you've ever gone into the little chat window in gPanel, you've probably interacted with Shelby. Or if you've ever opened a support ticket, you're probably experienced with her. But she is going to walk you through everything that you need to know, the most important things that you need to know about gPanel.
Well, thank you, Brandon. Happy Tuesday. Like Brandon said, I'm Shelby Gaines. I am a system support engineer here at Promevo. I've probably worked with you guys on a ticket or a video call, and if I haven't, I probably will here soon. But it's really great to be here just to connect with you guys and just to kind of focus on the gPanel basics. Like Brandon said, these webinars are designed for new gPanel administrators. We'll explore some of the platform's most valuable features, aiming to equip you with the knowledge and skills for effective gPanel management. The topics that we will cover today will be administration tools, user management, calendar resources, drive functionality, and the reporting tool. Some key takeaways that I want you guys to walk away with are going to be understanding the core functions of gPanel, gaining confidence in navigating the gPanel interface, and learning how to leverage gPanel's features to streamline administrative tasks. gPanel is a tool that duplicates a lot of the functionality that is found in the Google Admin Console. It also provides additional features that you cannot find within the Google Admin Console. Simply put, gPanel is a tool to manage users and adjust their permissions. So let's go ahead and get started. I first want to highlight a new release that was released with our new version last month is the ability to toggle between light and dark mode. I personally like the dark mode just because it's better for my eyes. But this is a new feature that was not available in version 1. It is now something that's available to administrators. I also like to highlight your user profile picture right here is always going to show your information, your admin role. If you're an admin or if you have a custom admin role, you will see that right here. You'll also see what tier of gPanel you are on as well. If you ever have any questions, these are going to take you directly to the user portal. That's going to be where you're going to be able to submit a ticket. Support, that's where you can reach out to us if you have any questions about gPanel. And then we also offer documentation as well. The first tool we're going to look at are going to be our administration tools. The administration tools are valuable for new gPanel administrators. One very important tool in the gAdmin tool is going to be this tool right here, which is the ability to set your gPanel application admin. The application admin has to be both an active user and a user that is assigned super admin permissions within the Google Admin Console for gPanel to work, for anyone to log in. So if this current admin is not an active user, they don't have admin permissions, you won't be able to log in. So we always encourage clients to make sure that their current admin is a super user and is an active user. But if you needed to change it, you can always come in here, search for the another active admin, and search like that. Some other tools that I like to highlight are going to be secondary domains. This is really important if you have maybe multiple domains that are part of your Google Workspace. You will need to come in and enable those so that you can manage those users, but you are able to do that. Another helpful tool that I like to highlight is going to be the Google API status toolbar. This toolbar provides information about the operational status of different Google APIs, which make it easier to monitor and troubleshoot. You can check all of the admin APIs, or you can check all of your users individually. And if they are disconnected from a certain API, you will see an X. And then again, that's just easier to help you troubleshoot. Any changes that are made in the admin console automatically sync with gPanel when a user logs in. But if you do need to update any of these changes sooner, you can come into your indexing and you can index versus individual users, maybe all users in your domain. You can do groups, calendars, and org units. So I always like to highlight that as well. gPanel Labs is basically like a testing environment. The dev team does kind of push new features here and they'll take them away. So these may be here sometimes when you log in and they may disappear. That's just because they are testing features. But we always encourage clients to go in and kind of test because the dev team always appreciates your feedback on how we can make gPanel better. I'd like to highlight the role manager. This is going to be where administrators are going to be able to come in and create new roles with specific permissions, which are particularly useful for granting managers authority solely over their teams. It also kind of takes away the stress from your help desk team as well. And I do like to point out for our enterprise clients, we do offer APIs. The gPanel APIs are going to be able to integrate with different software programs like Workday, Okta, and HubSpot. And those are going to be able to help automate processes like onboarding users, decommissioning users, and even creating standard user policies when you're onboarding new users. The next tool that we're going to take a look at is going to be our user management tool. gPanel's user management serves as the default landing page for admins, providing a comprehensive user directory that mirrors the Google Admin Console, eliminating the need for user imports. New users can be added directly within gPanel through a straightforward process. I want to kind of highlight all of the tools that are found within the user profile. So in this case, I'm going to pull up my test profile. You'll notice that all of the services are going to be aligned here at the top of the toolbar. So there's different services. You have your calendar and drive. We're going to focus today on the Gmail settings. These Gmail settings are going to be only found in gPanel. Again, these are not going to be anything that you're going to be able to create or do within the Google Admin Console. The first is going to be the account delegation. Account delegation is a feature that allows an admin to grant specific privileges to other users' inboxes. Within Gmail, end users are able to delegate their own accounts, but in gPanel, your admin are going to be able to come in and add those delegates. In situations where you need individuals to act on behalf of each other, or maybe a compliance situation, again, admins are going to be able to pull up the user and add as many up to 25 delegates as they need to. And they can also set an expiration date, which is really helpful. So if you know that you only maybe need your HR manager to have access to a user's inbox for a week, and you need it to expire, you can come in, you can add that HR person, and then you can also set an expiration date, which is pretty cool. The next tool that I like to highlight that again is only going to be found within gPanel are going to be our vacation responder and forwarding. And again, these are also unique to gPanel. Again, these functions are going to be available to the end user in Gmail, but there is not a way for administrators to access these permissions within the admin console. In gPanel, administrators can come in and adjust these. So for instance, a vacation responder, which is also known as an automatic reply or out of office message, is a useful tool to inform senders that you are unavailable and provides information about when you will be back. This can help to manage expectations and prevent urgent matters from falling through the cracks. For businesses who have clients that anticipate ongoing communication, this gPanel feature might be a valuable tool for your business. And the same could be said about forwarding. Again, this is something that you cannot do within the admin console, but administrators are going to be able to come in, set up forwarding. They can choose a user or group to forward those emails to. They can choose certain actions. And again, this is just ensuring that you are maintaining your productivity. And it also creates a backup of important emails too, just in case you don't want those to be missed. Maybe if a user is out of town or out of the office for some time. Another tool that I like to highlight within the Gmail settings are going to be the signature templates. Now, if you're familiar with the Google Workspace, you know that there's not a way to mass build signatures and signature templates and push those out to your users. Within gPanel, you can create the signatures within the user, and then there's also another tool found out of automation. But again, these are really helpful. These signature templates can streamline your workflow and enhance your professional images. They help to maintain a consistent look with your branding. They also offer quick information like your name, title, company, phone number. Adding information to your signature template profile does help to expand your online presence, and it also just adds some professionalism. All of the signature templates that you create will be available. So if you needed to choose different signatures, maybe for different occasions or for different clients, it's really easy for you to come out to the one user and you can push those out. Again, signature templates, there's so much that we can like explore with that. So if you have like any other questions or want to see that on the side, we can always set up some time. I'm on a support call and go through the signature templates and as a whole because there's a lot to go there. All right, the next tool that we are going to explore are going to be our calendar resources. In this case, I'm going to pull up another test user. I do like to highlight that one key feature that you will find in gPanel is going to be the ability to transfer a calendar. Now, if you know in the Google Workspace, you know that if you do want to transfer a calendar, you have to make sure that the user is active and you have to go through like the whole deactivation process. You can transfer a calendar at any time within gPanel, and you would do that by clicking this arrow right here. And again, making sure that admins have this ability to transfer calendars, especially before an employee offboards, is really important. It's going to ensure that future events are not missed and that there's always going to be eyes on those events. So this is really helpful. When accessing a user's profile in gPanel, all associated calendars, including secondary calendars, are visible. Admins are going to be able to come into each of the calendar and they can edit, share, and manage user access roles that mirror those in the native calendar app. So let's take a look. Admins are going to be able to come in and edit certain calendars. For instance, if they needed to maybe change the calendar name, change the time zone, perhaps change the color, change the is shown options, they are able to come in and edit those. Admins are also going to be able to come in and adjust the calendar visibility from the top level, as well as add users and groups and adjust their roles. So I can think of this really helpful in a situation where you have a new user that you just onboarded into your company. HR may need to create a few events with them to meet. HR, if you give HR access to gPanel, HR would be able to come into that specific new user. They can add themselves to the calendar. If they needed editor rights or viewer rights, they can do that. Again, they'll also be able to change the visibility from the top level. So maybe if you wanted the calendar just to be shared with everyone in the business, you can do that. If you wanted to make it available to everyone on the internet, you can also do that as well. Admins are also going to be able to come in and create and manage events. So admin can come in and add new events to the calendar. They can add users. They can adjust the dates and times. Again, changing the color is also available. They'll also be able to edit existing calendar events. So maybe we need to change the weight training from the 11th to the 12th. Admin are going to be able to come in and do that. They're also going to be able to, again, add users, or maybe you need to remove some users. Maybe you want to notify the guest, hey, I changed the date. I want you guys to get an email notification. Administrators are going to be able to do all this from the calendar section. Although not covered in detail, resource calendars are also available to be managed within gPanel, and this is going to be very similar to how you would manage the user calendars. That's also the same for resource templates. For organizations that have a high compliance requirements and they need to kind of transfer, they need to monitor and audit maybe the transfer activities of a calendar, the calendar transfer logs will have basically it provides a log of all of the calendars that were transferred. So in the event if maybe a calendar was accidentally transferred, an admin can come in and review those transfer logs. And again, that's going to be really helpful in situations where you need to troubleshoot what happened to a calendar. The next tool that we're going to take a look is going to be our drive search tool. This may be one of the most popular tools that gPanel has to offer. Again, as an admin, you could be able to come in and you'll be able to search for a user's all of their drives, whether it's their My Drives or their Share Drives. You will be able to access both. You'll have access to their files, their folders. Maybe you need to come in and view certain documents. Admins are going to be able to view the documents. It actually creates a short link and it opens, creates like a little additional tab, and you're able to come in, view the document. Maybe you need to open it with Google Docs. You have that ability. Or if you needed to share it, if you have printing enabled for your domain, you can also do that from here as well. Admin are also going to be able to rename the document, make a copy, and share. And again, this is really helpful because right now this document is restricted, but maybe I need to share it out, or maybe I need to add a few more people or groups. Admin are going to be able to come in, add the users and groups, and also adjust their roles. So maybe you only need a manager just to have commenter access, or maybe they only need to have viewer access, and you only need them to have access to a certain document for a week. Administrators can come into a user's calendar and they can also set that up, which is also really cool. The next tool we're going to look at is going to be the Drive Explorer. Now, there is a Drive Explorer tool that is available within the native Drive app. However, that is only exclusive to the user's drive. Our Drive Explorer will allow administrators to locate any document within the domain using various search parameters. And once found, you can manage those documents similar to how you would manage those in My Drive. You would only have to you have to search for a user. Oh, excuse me, let me go back to Drive Search. You would need to search, you have different source types. You would have to have user, group, OU, or domain. In this case, I'm going to pick a user. And then once you have that, you have to add one of the parameters. In this case, I'm just going to add actor. But you have different options. You could do share documents. You can look into share drives. It's going to pull literally everything in your domain. So let's search for actor. And it's going to search for all the documents that have actor in the name. So if you're searching, so yeah, just I would say if you know the name of the title, probably being more specific is better. But again, you'll be able to see all of the documents that are titled actor. And again, you can come in and manage those similar to how you would do it in My Drive. If you need to view the document, you can come in and do that. Again, it's also going to create the little hyperlink for you to open it within Google Docs. You can come in, you can share. Again, if you needed to restrict the access or change the visibility from the top level and add different users and groups, you're also going to be able to do that as well. Ownership transfer logs are also going to give you an idea of the drives that have been transferred. Again, that's going to be really good for those companies that value compliance. Administrators are also going to have access to all of the shared drives in your domain. This is going to include the ability you'll be able to share drives, manage members, and adjust their roles. And again, these roles are going to mirror those that are found in the native Drive app. There may be some shared drives that you encounter that you go to open and you may not have access. In that case, you will see this pop-up window. And in this event, you just need to basically grant yourself permissions to the folder. So depending on what you're looking to do, in this case, I want to manage it from the top level. So I'm going to grant myself the higher permissions. But once I add myself, then I will have access to all of the folders and even the files. And if we go back, I will be able to manage it. Let's go back here. I'll be able to manage it the same way that I can do the folders and files in My Drive. I can come in if I needed to view it. Again, if I needed to share it, this is really good. Again, if you needed to share documents out. So administrators are going to have access to all of these shared drives. And again, there may be some situations where you have to add yourself. You also will have access to all of, let's go to this. You also have access to all of the sharing settings from the top level, and you'll find all of those. Let's see if this will go. Let's go back. I might have to add access, but you'll be able to manage those from a top level. And if you try to manage the sharing settings within the admin console, they can be kind of be confusing. They're all over the place. You will find all of these from the top level. Let's see. You should see. I have to go back. Next thing we're going to take a look at is going to be our report center. The first thing that I would like to highlight within the report center are going to be the cPanel logs. The cPanel logs diligently track and record all admin activity that take place within the Google Admin Console. This is a comprehensive log, and these can provide resources when you're trying to troubleshoot and resolve issues that may arise. By examining the cPanel logs, you're going to be able to create different filters, and that can help administrators trace the sequence of actions, identifying any configuration modifications, and pinpoint potential errors that could be contributing to errors in hand. Again, there's all these different filters that you can use to kind of help target what specific action you're looking for in the admin console. With our report section, this is one of like a powerful tool that within gPanel, just because it provides administrators with a comprehensive and granular view of their organization's Google Workspace environment. While the Google Admin Console offers basic reporting capabilities, and sometimes they're like takes 3 days for the data to reflect accurately, gPanel goes far beyond, offering over 77 customizable reports that deliver specific details about users, groups, OUs, and domains. When you go to create a report, you will notice that all of the reports are categorized by service. Each report will have different sets of data depending on which report you choose. Here's a quick look of all of the reports. I will say that depending on your tier of gPanel will affect which reports you have access to. So for instance, if you have gPanel Starter, you will only have 12 reports versus gPanel Enterprise, you will have all 77 reports. And again, some key advantages of using gPanel's reporting tool are going to be granular insights. You'll be able to gain deeper insights into user activity, data usage, customization. You'll be able to tailor reports to your specific needs. You can schedule reports for recurring tasks and automate report delivery. And one thing I like to highlight is that our reports are created in real time so that you have up to the minute insights. Again, within the Google Admin Console, when you run a report, sometimes those reports can be, they'll be 3 days late. And so that's not always going to give you the most accurate information. Like I said, you'll be able to come in and set a schedule, and you can do it by weekdays, months, or month days. The days of the month. Another highlight I would like to say is that once you set your schedule, it's one and done. If you set a schedule to create a report within the admin console, the Google Admin Console, once you run that report, you would have to create that scheduling task all over again, which can be a little frustrating. With gPanel, it's one and done. You come in, you set your schedule. Let's choose a month. You can choose a file for that report to pop up under, or it can just create a new file for you. Again, all of the reports are going to offer different information, but you don't have to choose all of the columns. So maybe you just need to know a first name and last name. You can come in and you can customize the report for the information that you want to see. You'll be able to target these reports. You can use these against users, groups, OUs, or domains. In this case, we're going to do a user. And then, like I said earlier, you can come in if you have this email that's automated, and maybe you needed to automatically email a manager, or maybe you needed to share with a group. Administrators are going to be able to come in and do that. Maybe you need to share with an HR manager or the manager of finance. You can come in, you can add that user, and then you can also adjust that role too. So that's also something that's helpful too within the reporting center. And then also lastly, it always gives you a nice little review so you can kind of see what report you created if you needed to go back and if you needed to adjust things. Again, I like to highlight some key things about the gPanel reporting tool are going to be the ability to share and collaborate. You'll be able to export reports to various formats such as PDF or CSV. the real-time data that you'll be able to generate with these reports, and also the ability for administrators to schedule reports for recurring tasks that that you may need to set for weekly or monthly reviews. So I'm going to end it off here because time definitely flies by and it looks like we're almost time. So I want to leave some room for some questions. So Brandon, I will go ahead and kick it back over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Shelby. Much appreciated. Would love to hear any questions that we have out there in the audience. Don't be shy, drop them in. I will drop in a comment on gPanel office hours. So gPanel basics, again, this is meant to be just sort of like a walkthrough of the most important functions. It's really a surface level exploration, but there is so much more stuff that gPanel does. There's so much more power, so many more functions. I mean, you know, we've spent entire hours on the 72 reports, and we've done a number of sessions over the last year and a half or so. They're about an hour a piece. We call them gPanel office hours. So if you go to gpanel.io/office-hours, you can find all of those in there. We have deep dives on like the calendar function, on signature management, the rules engine and automation and policies. And basically you can go as far down the rabbit hole as you want. And even then, like 13 hours worth of content still probably is really only hitting a function of it. You know, looks like people are being quiet today, so we don't have a bunch of questions. You can always reach out to myself or Shelby. If you look at her screen right now, down in that bottom right, you see a chat function. It's going to surface articles in our knowledge base based on what you insert there. But you also always have the option to chat with someone live. And there's a good chance that that's probably going to be Shelby or one of her associates. If you're watching this because you're exploring gPanel or you've somehow otherwise stumbled in here, reach out to us. Go to gpanel.io and start your trial. Reach out to our sales team. They'll give you a full demo. We can walk through specific scenarios with you, everything you want to know. And of course, we will be doing this again next month. We always do them on the second Tuesday of the month. So sign up again and come join us. We're happy to walk you through as much as we can. All right, looks like you guys don't have a bunch of questions. So I think with that, we'll go ahead and call this one. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're staying cool.
Happy Tuesday.
Or if you're
Yes.
in one of these places that's experiencing nonstop torrential downpours, then I hope you get to dry out at some point. But with that, we'll call it good. Shelby, thank you as always.
Of course.
Thanks to all of you out there who are tuning in, and we will see you at the next one.
Bye.
Bye now.